Also, go online at tieandsips.com. Also, www.imroyaltyradio. And then next we have After Her Soul Left. The play will be on January the 20th at the Uptown Theater in Grand Prairie. You can also purchase your tickets there at www.imroyaltyradio.com. You can also hit myself up or Ali up and get your tickets. We have two shows, 3 and 6 p.m. So if you guys don't have anything to do on the 20th, then you can come out and see us. Yeah. Enjoy it.
And if you're a business owner, reach out to me because we do have a few more vendor spots available.
We do have vendor spots. So you vendors, people who have product that you want to get out and sell and showcase to the world, you can hit us up for vendor spots. And pricing will be available for that once you hit us up for that. So now I want to get into our guest. I have John Wildman, right? Is that right?
Yep.
I have Justina Walford.
Yes.
And I have Bill House, right?
Yes.
In the building today. And we're going to go over some films that they're going to have coming up in the Best of Fest Film Festival. We have Abducted in Plain Sight, The Last Whistle, and The Human Element. So I'm going to let each one of them introduce themselves and tell us how the Best of Fest came about. What gave you the concept to have that name?
Well, let me lead off, and then maybe get to Bill into his movie as well. But the Best of Fest is 22 out of the 25 film festivals in Dallas and Fort Worth and North Texas that remarkably have come together to do a kind of greatest hits of all of these festivals, or if you want to look at it like this, a sampler platter of all the film festivals, so that film fans that maybe are not aware or of all the film festivals that we have that just go to the the typical weekend films that they see at the Metroplex, or maybe know 3 or 4 of these film festivals, can then be introduced to all these other great film festivals as well.
Okay. And then you, Justine?
I am the artistic director for Women Texas Film Festival. So we are, our representative film is a documentary called Abducted in Plain Sight, which is about a young girl in the 70s who is abducted by her neighbor. And it is so shocking to watch when you think you know what you're going to see and you find out, oh, it gets so much crazier than you think. So we're very excited because the filmmaker is going to be there, Sky Borgman, and she's going to answer whatever questions we have when the lights come up.
Okay, so with Abducted in Plain Sight, is that like a suspense movie?
It's a documentary.
Documentary,
so it
okay.
really happened, and that's what's so shocking about it, is that when you start seeing all the twists and turns that this psychopathic neighbor did and was able to manipulate, and how people around him fell for it and became subject to it. It says a lot about the whole experience.
Okay. And you, Bill?
Oh, well, I am. I was expecting more, but I'm Bill Haas, and I am the programming director for the Fort Worth Indie Film Showcase.
Okay.
And I just want to first off thank everybody who led putting this thing together, because as John said, it's a phenomenal event. Just all these film festivals coming together as one unit and putting this on. And so I really encourage everybody to come out, make some time to come out and enjoy this festival. What we're presenting is a documentary titled Apache Warrior.
Okay.
And it is about a mission in Iraq where basically everything, it's a helicopter mission, and everything that could go wrong went wrong during the course of this mission. I mean, I learned some things about helicopters that I just found absolutely amazing. And I mean, you can hear the bullets hitting the armor of the aircraft. You can see the bullets flying by. They have actual footage from the mission in there. And we're going to have one of the representatives, or actually somebody who actually is an Apache, I believe pilot, at least crew member on board, who's a representative also for the Apache Warrior Foundation, which is a nonprofit organization that supports, Apache pilots and crew members, Apache helicopter pilots and crew members.
Okay. So John, I remember seeing you at the Comedy House. And so have you ever worked in film, like besides seeing you at the Comedy House? I thought it was always comedy, right? So now seeing that you have a plethora of like different films and stuff, have you ever like delved into that?
Well, yeah, actually, Justina and I made a film that you can see on Amazon or iTunes or Google Play or those things. It's called The Ladies of the House, and that film came out a couple years ago. It's about a group of young women that live together. They're kind of burlesque dancers, strippers. They also happen to be cannibals. And some gentlemen follow the wrong dancer home, and they talk their way into the wrong house, and they get invited in for dinner.
That is not a documentary.
That is not a
I was like,
documentary.
oh my God.
But yes, but of course, as I Am Royalty Radio knows, I do PR, I do publicity for a number of film festivals, but we are also filmmakers as well, but it also informs how we do the PR for the film festivals and for things like the Dallas Comedy Festival, because we understand what it's like to be a filmmaker and the attention that you need for your films and that sort of thing. So it definitely weighs on how we do this.
Okay. And then Justina, how long have you been in doing film, of course, and then doing women's in film festival?
I started the Women Texas Film Festival 4 years ago. We're going to our 4th year. Before that, I was a screenwriter, and I also produced plays when I lived in LA. So, and that was, I started being a screenwriter in the late 90s. So
Okay.
I was a struggling LA writer for a very long time, and then moved here.
Okay. So did you ever decide to give up? Because I know sometimes when we're into our passions and stuff, and it gets hard, and like we experience those blocks.
Yeah,
And did you ever like decide like, hey, I don't want to do this anymore?
I think every Tuesday.
Right.
But also, I'm working on a documentary right now, so you give up and you keep going, and I think in a way you just never stop.
Yeah.
You just sort of keep chugging along, just putting stuff in between.
What are some of your inspirations?
Oh, I don't know. I love, we made a horror movie, so I love scary movies. I love Korean horror and Japanese horror. So our date night movie is Old Boy.
Okay.
Never heard of it.
Right.
Give us a little synopsis, just a little one.
Well, it's
Old Boy, a guy, kind of like a party guy, gets kidnapped and
not a
imprisoned.
party guy, an alcoholic.
Alcohol. Yeah, but
That's a different
yeah. Well, okay, fine. And he gets kidnapped and imprisoned for like 15 years with no explanation as to why this has happened, and then he's released again with no explanation, but with the idea that if you want to find out why we did this, you can. Maybe you don't want that to happen,
And he doesn't.
And he doesn't want that to happen when it turns out when he finds out why. So it is a mind-blowing film and about as twisted as it possibly could be. It was remade a few years back by Spike Lee, but go and see Original Recipe Old Boy. That is the film to watch.
Yeah, there's a scene where he eats a live squid.
Oh.
So that's like not the weirdest, creepiest part of it.
Like while it's moving.
Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
Like a
All
live
in
squid,
space,
live
like
squid,
it's-
not a
yes.
CGI.
So he's like moving
No,
and all that, like,
it's like if you go, right,
he's breathing and everything, like.
if you go on YouTube, you actually see
Oh,
the
no,
actor
man,
doing
really.
it, and it was like one take because after the actor did it once, the actor's like,
I'm
Yeah.
done.
And that's the tame part of the movie.
Oh,
yeah,
That's the
that's the
tame.
beginning.
That's the
I'm
tame.
not giving anything away. That's like the first 15 to 20
Okay.
minutes.
Is that book club, movie club friendly?
No,
Okay. All
no.
right.
So you'll watch that at home, like in private.
I mean, it depends on who you're hanging with.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, okay.
So back to Bill. So Bill, I know that you're in the Fort Worth Indie Film Festival, right?
Yes,
So how
yes.
long have you been in film, and like what was your inspiration to start? Cause you're the founder, right?
Yeah, one of the founders.
One of them. Okay.
Yeah. Well, what got us to start the festival was, insanity.
Yeah.
You're like in the middle of the first year. Why are we doing this? I'm a filmmaker also,
Okay.
and we initially, and the reason why the last word of the festival is showcase is because initially we thought we were going to put on this little boutique uh, uh, thing where nobody was going to know about us, and we'd probably end up showing our own films all day long. But fortunately and blessedly, it took off, and it's much bigger than that. We're going into our 6th year now, and we show on average about 100 films per weekend, 115 films per weekend. But I got into film because I started out as an actor,
Okay.
and from acting, I learned how to write, and dabbled in writing plays, transitioned over to screenplays, and then trying to get my friends who were
Right.
doing it. Can you direct this? And realized they didn't know any more than I did. Whoever's listening, sorry, but uh, and just started, and that's the beautiful thing about operating within your gifts. When you do that, you hear things, and people find you, and they teach you things, and you hear things and they make sense to you, and you're able to learn and grow.
Mhm.
Not nothing supernatural, but I mean you understand what people are telling you when they're trying to teach you. So it is Sunday, so that was your sermon. Yeah, that's
So where do you like to be, Bill? Because I've seen you in front of the camera, behind the camera, on the side of the camera, directing the camera, all of that.
it depends on the story. It depends on the project. I like to be where I'm supposed to be for any particular project. Sometimes it's a project where I need to act in. I've fired myself from from a bunch of projects also because there was an actor that came along better than me for the part. What surprised me when I transitioned from being an actor to a director is that the sense of ownership that I had is just as strong if I'm directing or if I wrote it as if I acted. You never could have told the actor Bill that 10, 15 years ago. So, but yeah, I just like being there wherever.
So I know that of course, us all being artists. What was one of your favorite movies that you produced?
Oh, that I produced. Well, the last one.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was that? What was the last one?
The title of the movie, and it's in film festivals now, is How to Make a Baby.
Oh.
Yeah, which
We're gonna
was
need a little
I
synopsis on that.
couldn't wrap my head around how to audition for that.
Okay.
Because I didn't want to put the title in the audition notices.
So that's like how to
Is
make a
this a documentary?
It is not.
We need answers.
It is not a human biology documentary. It's
Okay.
not one of those. What it's about, a friend of mine came to me and he told me about a little article he had read about a friend who decided to help a couple that was impotent
Okay.
have a baby, but they were going to skip all of the laboratories and everything and just do it the old-fashioned way.
Okay.
Point A, point B. Oh, that's it. And it. I don't want to give too much away about it, but these things never work out the way you expect them to.
Of course.
And what I really like about this film is beyond the fact that I wrote it and directed it, is I've seen a lot of short films in festivals that deal with that. It's like 30 people get the same idea at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen a lot of short films that deal with that, but every short film I've seen, and nothing against those short films, but every short film I've seen deals with the moment. right there, where, you know, the guy is there, the guy and the wife go in the back room, the guy sits there, and, you know, it never turns out the way never feels, you can't disconnect the way you thought you could. This film, you actually see the slow boil, how the idea is introduced, how the idea takes seat, how you end up there, and then the aftermath. So we actually deal with, this goes through like about a year in this couple's life. So, the whole thing was shot, 4 people in the entire cast, one location. We never go outside of the house with the camera. So, you know, I really like the restrictions that we were able to work within, and just the intimacy that we didn't show any intimacy. No, there were nobody.
It was intimate, but not intimate.
It was emotionally intimate. Very respectful of everybody.
They had to use that imaginary mind.
Right.
Yes.
So I'm
Yes.
feeling
This
like we're
goes right
treading
on.
on thin water here with
No,
this.
actually not. But yeah, but that's it.
No, that sounds like a
Yeah, you have to come see it.
And is that showing in Festa Fest?
No, that I don't have that much ego.
No.
Yeah.
So where is it? You said mentioned a couple other festivals.
We're submitting festivals. I'm expecting that we'll play in some festivals in Oklahoma. Certainly in July, we'll play it at the Fort Worth Indie Film Showcase. Any filmmakers who are listening, yeah, we're going to show it, but it's not up for any awards. We're just going to show it. We don't win awards at our own festivals. We're at the beginning of our run, so we'll just keep you up to date. Just stay in touch with us on social media, and we'll let you know where it is. And I'll tell you, so
Yeah.
you can say something.
Thank you. And while we've got you, Bill, so Fort Worth Indie Film Festival, since we're talking about festivals,
Right.
what do you got? When is that kicking off in 2019?
The Fort Worth Indie Film Showcase.
Film Showcase.
Yeah, not to be.
I'm looking right
not
at
to
the
be-
letters, and I added an extra F, and there's an S.
Fort Worth Indie Film Show, and it's my fault for naming it Showcase because everybody wants to say festival, so I had to take the one is yeah. But it's happening July 26th and 27th of 2019. We are looking at, historically we've done 3 days, and because of some issues we had to change venues at the last minute. So I'm looking at how to account for that 3rd day that we normally do right now. But right now we're definitely on for the 26th and 27th. And again, a reason to follow us. We'll keep you up to date with regards to how we expand and account for that 3rd day that we have.
And a lot of folks may not know you guys are on your 5th year, 6th year. This was
Finished.
5.
Yeah.
Last year was 5.
Last year was 5.
So 2019 is year number 6.
Year number 6.
And you guys had about 200 films in this.
We had a bunch.
Yeah.
A bunch of
So are you looking at the same amount of films this year, or?
I get that 3rd day in, yes. Yes, I get that 3rd day.
And their quality. I mean, you know, it's you guys had so many good filmmakers and directors and producers that we met at the last festival. There's just so much talent in this area and that kind of thing. And then you had folks that, you know, came from far away as well. So
we had a guy flying last year from Poland.
yeah.
I was there. Yeah, if you're
Wow.
listening, thank you.
So it's
yeah,
big.
it's international
You know?
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. So yeah, we're looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to you being there.
Showcase. So good deal.
So we're gonna take a short break, and I wanted to also shout out to my counterpart that's in here, Ali of
That's
BAM Radio, and she's in here with me today as a special guest. But we're gonna come back after our break, and we're gonna talk more about the film festival that's coming up next week. This week, starting Thursday, and we're gonna talk about some of the films that are going to be on Showcase. So hit it.
Hit it. I like that. No, this is really cool what you guys are doing. It takes a lot. Yeah.
It's really great.
Guys, we're gonna come right back. Stay tuned. If you have not, please go and click IamRoyaltyRadio.com. The actual link, Facebook, give us the click. This is our Sunday takeout show, and every Sunday radio.com and say,
Renaissance, man. How you been?
Good. How
you doing? All right. So, Jennifer, you want to message me?
What's up, Eddie? Hey, serious all the way from
I don't know what
what you
I
got
understand,
going
but I don't understand.
Well, he said he's not going anywhere, but they officially blocked two teams from getting in.
And
But he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to do that.
They want him to work with whatever
All right,
culture
now
they
let's
can,
start
but
off
I'm not really gonna bring it. Remember, John Harlow.
Yeah, I don't know who these people are. I ain't trying to get kicked off Facebook, but
We all right.
Yeah, because they still haven't locked him down in Baltimore.
So,
They lost it,
how was the
The
Christmas party that up there?
And that, yeah, they always had that,
Okay, so what you want me to do now?
you know,
Because I can't walk out
so,
in
you
the
know,
middle of broadcast.
I was really
Well, I mean,
doing
Friday,
but
but walk out in the middle of broadcast.
Well, let's make it though. Well, they
Hear me.
cases are wrong,
I realize it.
and I like him.
You gotta meet.
I got rehearsal at 4 o'clock.
He needed a voice that, like, you needed a voice that, great.
I got a lot of time.
Right.
You see it, you see
Well, no, but physically, I go there from home, but
it's like, we're at a point now where you need a really dynamic
I can go out, hit 67, head south, up and down.
and kind of just influence everybody. And, you know, it's Kirk Cousins, he's like a workman-like guy.
Right,
You know, they're not inspiring anybody.
right. Yeah, it has to be. Yeah, it has to be that type of quarterback, like you said, where like smart, emotionally and talent-wise. I don't see it as far as free agents. I don't see it, and there's no one coming in the draft.
And, you know, and they don't really have a receiver that is
Right.
I can only imagine.
Yeah.
I hated that. I thought about it. I was like, I was.
I think Emmanuel done.
Yeah.
Okay, injury, they're not gonna bring him back.
No.
So
That's like
So they'll be, unless they draft somebody big, they'll be like, so you know, you're going to live on defense next year.
they have to develop any of the tight ends that they got.
Or go out and be
I was watching part of the Chargers game when I saw Bernie Green, and I was like, okay, you know.
I would sorry, because I was thinking today, I didn't watch the game, I would actually kind of love to see the Chargers really well, and maybe win it all, just because it's so awkward to have them be Super Bowl champions.
Yeah, I'm for it right now for the chaos.
Yeah.
So I don't want any of the traditional teams.
And it'd also be cool to have 1 year where Phil Rivers finally gets some attention.
I think
He's overdue.
Yeah,
He had his moment in the sun.
he's kind of like Romo.
Even though there's no better, cooler guy than Drew Brees as far as being a good guy.
Yeah.
But you know what they go for the one.
Yeah, give him one. Give him one. So I think they got a strong there.
And meanwhile, I'm suffering with Golden State. Like, oh my God.
Because you didn't say, we see. Okay.
He said, "What are you doing?"
You know?
No,
And you know, listen, it's funny because like that last interview, everybody's imitating him, and now it's like a little more of a level playing field. But yeah, with that, just make, you know, you go,
I think they're really waiting to see when Cousins come back. If he comes back healthy, then I think that
It's more like personal.
that's the one thing that I'm hoping here, because we have a guy like that too, and the rest of the guys go, let's get him one. Let's get him this thing.
that gives them the motivation, and they can change the type of way. Like at certain times of the game, they can change the way they play. Right, they don't always have to.
So, you know, when you feel like 1, 3, or 4, you go, yes, you're like when Durant first came in.
Right.
Let's get him
Let's get
this.
him one.
Yes, and those are like.
Now they all got it. It's kind of like Yeah, we just gotta listen and like, we'll be ready when it's time.
Yeah.
These other teams like, no, we're gonna knock you out now.
Yeah, I'm sweating.
That's scary.
Yeah, 10 would be good. That way I have 20 minutes to get there.
Okay.
But it's like 5 miles from here. We looked at it. We looked at the direction of it. I got rehearsal for at 4 o'clock.
All right, so we're back on the Sunday takeout. To all my followers that just tuned in, I have John Wildman, I have Justina Walford, and we have Bill Haas. We're gonna let him see where where you can follow him and all of that, and keep us updated on the festival that's coming up in July. And you're gonna be a part of this one too, right?
Yeah, we're part of that.
Yeah, I want you to tell us a little bit about why this film festival is really cool. You kind of alluded to it a little bit before you tell everybody where they can find you. And all that stuff. Like, why do you like this festival? Why do you want to be a part of it? Besides, John is sitting right here.
Well, John is in it. Because John is involved with it. That's why. It's just a great opportunity, as a young festival, to get around some of these more mature festivals and from a pragmatic point, see how they do things. What have you been doing so that you've been able to sustain for 20 plus years, and so just sit in the room with some of these minds and see what's going on and just pick up some ideas. I mean, young people, key to success. Look what people are doing that are where you want to be and duplicate. So that's a large part of it. It's fun.
Yeah.
I mean that's another thing right there. It's just going to be a lot of fun. It's a great opportunity to show. It was difficult to pick a film that we felt was representative of the festival, but we decided to go with veterans, just honor service, honor veterans, and just give the public a glimpse into, what happens out there. I forgot the question.
That was kind of it, talking about why this one was important to you, why kind of that feel good, and you think that this is a good festival to be a part of.
Yeah.
You chatted about that, and then where people can find you. What's a one takeaway, being the conglomerate guy of everything? You fit in all kinds of shoes. What's one thing that you would tell someone who's coming up, who's following, who's looking and watching, the film showcase festival thing come together?
Do it.
Just do it.
Yeah, just do it. I mean, you're not going to learn unless you bump your head. You're not going to find out that you can or can't do it until you do it. And when you do it, again, going back to working within your gifts, if it is your path, then people are going to come into your life. The doors are going to open.
Yeah.
That will allow that to happen the way that it needs to do. And sometimes you may be redirected, but just follow the doors as they open. Now, if it's real easy, it could be one of two things. You're doing something really bad.
Yeah.
You're doing something
Yeah.
good. If the doubts don't come, you're on the right path.
Good advice. Good advice.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
So, and to follow us, just at FWIFS, Twitter, Instagram.
So you show people. There you go. He's
There you go.
representing.
FWIFS. Yeah. Just put an at in front of it.
Just put an ad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. So that's what the Sunday takeout is really all about, y'all. When he said working your gift, I was talking about that a couple of days ago, and a lot of people have gifts that nobody know about. We fail, and then we don't want to do it anymore because we ran into an obstacle, or like it's just not working out at that time, and some people give up on it, and then they miss the mark because there's so much other stuff that they don't want to learn because they don't want to go through the process of getting themselves acclimated to the gift that they're that they're doing. So that's a good for you young people. Stay in it, whatever it is that you got going on, stay in it. So we're gonna go to John and Justina since they're here, and we got so the films are how many films are going to be showing at the film festival? The
You
festival.
don't remember the total number.
Yes, it's 22 festivals.
There are 22 festivals that are represented.
Okay.
You know, some of them have features, some of them have short films as well. Like, you know, for example, the Pegasus Film Festival, which is a student filmmaker film festival. They've got, I think, a half a dozen shorts various ones will play in front of
Okay.
before leading into feature films. So, you know, but the best way to look at this, again, is that you may be familiar with, say, the Oak Cliff Film Festival.
Mm-hmm.
You may be familiar with Dallas Video Fest, maybe Women Texas Film Festival, and not realize that Bill's Fest exists.
Right.
You know, maybe because you're not going to Fort Worth all the time.
Right.
You know, and if you do, you of course know the Lone Star Film Festival. But again, his is a younger film festival. You know, there's Q Cinema,
Mm-hmm.
which is an LGBTQ film festival that, frankly, I'm a film festival guy, and I wasn't really aware of that film festival.
Okay.
Check That Film, which is Czechoslovakian films, and you go, okay,
Great concept.
yeah, and that is what is really, really cool about this is that, again, like a sampler platter, you can come to, whether it be Alamo Drafthouse or Studio Movie Grill or Cinepolis, one of those theaters, and go see one film that you're kind of familiar with, that you go, well, okay, I want to go see the Crossroads Film Festival screening of Lonesome Dove's very first episode, on a big screen. That's a classic, thing that's very beloved. And Barry Corbin, who is, one of our, kind of beloved icons here in Dallas, he's going to be there. So you go, well, of course I want to go see that. That's going to be a cool event to see Lonesome Dove on a big screen and see, Barry, and then maybe I'll stay to see this other film that I'm not familiar with.
Right.
Maybe I'll go see Rampant, which is the Asian Film Festival Dallas offering.
Okay.
Maybe I'll do that.
And on top of what Bill was saying too, is that if you are a creative, this is where to go, because filmmakers are not just doing Q&As, filmmakers are film fans. So we are all, and most, I don't want to say most, a lot of film festival directors are filmmakers too. So we all go to these film festivals and we talk shop. We meet other people, we talk about projects, we do projects together, we do short films together. This is where we all sit and talk as we're watching movies. So really, it's inspiring to go to a film festival like this. It's like a restaurant week. Like if you were a chef, would you go to restaurant week? Yes.
Right.
This is the same thing. If you're an actor or a writer or a director, would you go to Best of Fest? Yes, because that's exactly what it is. It's a taste and a sampling of everything that Dallas Fort Worth offers, and also is where we're all going to be to talk about the stuff that we're working on.
And is the film festival, is it open to everyone? So like if someone who wants to get into film, so it's open to everybody.
Absolutely. And those, is this 3 days? We're here on the phone system. 3 days. 3 days. Over the course of those 3 days, I would be camping out at each one of those theaters, because again, you have 22 different film festivals. You have the people that are involved in putting those 22 film festivals together are going to be circulating, just like Justina said, through all of that. Friday night at the Alamo Drafthouse, we'll be having a red carpet, which I know you're very familiar because we're expecting you on that red carpet.
Of course.
So we're going to have pretty much all of those people there that one night in that one cool event. And so if I'm a filmmaker in Dallas, I think I want to be there.
Right.
I think I do not want to miss that. Because let's face it, this is a community. It's an ecosystem. And whether or not you are a filmmaker, a creator, or whether or not you're a programmer, you are a tastemaker, you are all together, kind of building off of what each other does. Much like what this radio station does, as far as promoting artists and promoting people that are active in the community, and and working at those building blocks. Well, just in the world of film, that's what this is.
Okay. So the red carpet. So it's everybody that's a part of the movies that are showing are going to be available on the red carpet, right?
There will be every attending filmmaker
Okay.
that will be available will be there, as well as pretty much each one of those film festival heads will
Okay.
be there.
Okay.
So while we're on red carpet, John, you know I ain't gonna let this go, right?
I knew this was coming.
Let's talk about red carpet right quick, because you know you guys got time. So you being a Dallas premier PR guy for multiple festivals and events here in Dallas, and doing your own festivals as well as participating in others, why are red carpets important? And what would you want to tell people about the importance of a red carpet?
You
So
know,
glad we have time.
Yes.
Right.
You don't want to read the excerpt.
it's not like Christina doesn't hear about this all the time with me. And I would say, you know, I'll talk about this, but and of course I knew this was coming because I just recently posted on my Films Gone Wild column on festworks.com about why film festivals need to do red carpets for their filmmakers and why they need to do them correctly. But here's the thing, you know, if you're a filmmaker, and obviously I'm very passionate about this, so I'll try to rein it in a little bit, but it is really difficult to make a film, incredibly difficult to make a film. It's even more hard to make a watchable film. And it's even more difficult to make a watchable film that can get into a film festival. And then when you add on the difficulty in actually going to the film festival, yeah, if you live in Dallas and you fortunately got in one of these Dallas film festivals, well, you know, you can drive there. You know, you live next there. But when you're talking about going across the country, you know, to a film festival, well, that costs money. It takes scheduling. It's a big effort. It's a big deal. So you need to utilize that time and that moment that you have as a filmmaker. You know, you need to take any opportunity you can to promote yourself, to introduce people to yourself as a filmmaker, as an artist, and your film. Unless you don't mind the only people watching your movie to be your mom and your dad and you know your significant other and the people that worked on the film that still like you and still like the film. Yeah. If you're fine with that, then fine. Then don't do any PR. Don't do press, and you know and just move on to the next thing, and you know and put the DCP of your movie or the Blu-ray of your movie in a drawer, and you're done. But if you actually have ambitions for other people to see your movie, well, then the red carpet is a perfect opportunity to let people know who you are, whether just to get a photo taken of you or to actually talk to I Am Royalty Radio or BAM Radio or whichever show that you guys are representing when you're on that carpet. You know, you're able to show your personality and make it more about you as opposed to each movie. And that's one thing I talked about in that column, is that you can live and die on each movie, or you can build an anticipation, like with Justina and I, that you go, oh, I want to see everything that they do.
Right.
Because I saw them do this interview with Ali or JD or Ty, and they are hilarious. I'm assuming that they'll think that we were. You know, and so therefore, I want to see everything that they do. I want to look up every short film. I want to, because something tells me that they will crack me up if I watch that, or they will scare the crap out of me because of the kind of films that we really like to do. So you make it more about looking forward to everything you do, just like with Ty in his plays, where you go, I want to see what he does because I love his sensibility. So it's not just about one play. No, it's about the stuff that he does. You know, and that is what you're trying to create with red carpets.
Okay, and then I wanted to ask, when you're picking the films for the festival, what do you look for so you can show the films, you know, during the festival?
For me, you know, for Women Texas, we are looking for how different the voices of female filmmakers are. So we want to have a very huge range of genres and voices and styles. I personally am a fan of movies that make you go, what did I just watch? That's
Yeah.
crazy. What did I just watch? That's terrifying. I love people walking away shocked at what they saw. So I do lean toward that, but there's always a nice rom-com in there as well, just to celebrate the female created rom-com. And that's what I look for. I look for really great storytelling, really good directing, and voice, like unique voice. So like if it looks like the writer or the director really took a chance on something, even if I don't appreciate it or I don't like it or I would have done something different, I will still program it because I know it was a chance they took and they executed well enough or someone else will like it. I put it in.
Because me with movies, I love horror movies too, but I like the ones where I'm like, oh my god, like, and then some movies they'll be so corny and I just be like, did they even think about this?
Yeah.
The one that made me walk away saying, what did I just watch? The Paris one.
Paris Window.
Paris Window.
Yes.
And,
Yeah.
and I figured out the name after. Because I was sitting there, I told someone, I was like, God, that looks like Paris.
Well, duh.
It did. I was like, oh, that looks like that one little on the side. Never mind.
And I actually, like, I remember I made John watch it, and I'm like, I want this to be our opening night film.
Yes.
And John was like, well, that is taking a chance. And it was amazing because not everyone loved it. But the people who loved it. And the ones who didn't hated it, which I loved.
So it's a horror movie?
It's,
Well,
it's like more like an acid trip
okay.
about
That's a
dependency.
good, that's
Okay.
really,
Yeah.
it has so many messages in it, and the whole time you're like, I don't like you had to piece it together afterwards.
Makes
It's
you
just
think.
like those movies you want to see in the theater with the filmmaker doing the Q&A because you want to say,
What?
wait.
What were you thinking about?
Which
So,
is-
John, what about you? Like, what do you look for when you're picking like films for the festival?
Well, I'm not a programmer, but what often happens with me and my film festivals, because I work with a lot of film festivals across the country, is that I will recommend a film because it will just nail me to the wall. And that's the thing. It's like, I want something that I've never seen before. I want something that is just crazy and it and it really just, I cannot stop thinking about it and I keep coming back to it, which is why Abducted in Plain Sight, Justina's choice for this festival. I brought that one to her because it had played 2 or 3 of my other festivals across the country. They played Tallgrass, they played at Heartland, I think it might have played Naples, it played a lot. And because it very well received, won awards, Oxford as well. Oh, wow. And so this film didn't actually play at Women Texas Film Festival last year. But I knew that it was right up Justina's alley. I knew that it really represented the philosophy, programming-wise, of what she looks for. Because again, just as Justina said, this is a film that will blow your mind. And that's blow period, your period, mind period. Because the story.
Bam.
Yeah.
Exactly. Bam. The story is about this guy who grooms an entire family. He basically trains an entire family to get them to give up their daughter.
Wow, isn't this just fitting conversation right now? We're not going to go into that, but I'm just saying.
Boom. Oh, okay. Oh my God.
And so that's the thing. So you watch this and you go, how could this have happened? But it did. It did.
Yeah.
This guy convinced a mother and a father that they should literally say, okay, take our daughter. And then after he did that, he convinced the daughter of crazy, crazy things. You go, what? How could any of this happen? So just like Justina said, each step of the way, and you go, well, John, you just ruined it for us. No, I did not.
That's within the first 15 minutes.
Yeah.
It's just the first 15 minutes. And actually, it's interesting because there are a lot of documentaries, not a lot, there are a few documentaries that have come out in the last couple of years about being a teenage girl and just what kind of crazy some of us see as teenagers, but we believe it because we're not quite
Yeah.
formed in what we know and what's real and what's not real. There was a movie, I think it was last year, with Shirkers, and it's a teenage girl who wants to be a filmmaker. And interesting enough, it feels like when you're watching the film that her teacher, who's teaching her how to be a filmmaker, is grooming her for something horrible. But in actuality, it just stays on that verge of just weird.
Yeah.
And then and the actual issue is that he steals her first film. But it's her believing things he says and like falling for things that we don't fall for now as adults, but she does because our brains just haven't quite.
She wasn't programmed right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I know, right?
Yeah. That's okay. Yeah. That's a whole nother conversation. So for this weekend, the festival, like you guys mentioned, is broken out into what four theaters. Are they blocks or are the tickets sold separate per film? How are you guys doing that?
Separate tickets and a pass.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
You can get an overall pass or daily pass or something like that, but you can get separate tickets for each film. Because that's the thing, is, you will want to look at that schedule and piece from here, piece from there, yeah.
And since we are the red carpet and media spokesperson
Yes, we
for
will.
the festival. So me thinking of red carpet, of course red carpet is most people they dress up, get all fancy and all that kind of stuff. So because this is film, because it's a wide range of creativity and personalities, how would we be like, we could just come dressed as whatever we want?
Yeah, I always tell people, you wear what you gotta wear. When you're a filmmaker, sometimes, I've had people just dressed to the nines.
Yeah.
And, and they arrive on that carpet and you go, this is why we have a red carpet.
Right.
Like
Earth X was.
I had, one year I had Alice Krieg here in Dallas and she showed up in this red dress that you just wanted to lay down on the ground and just let her walk past you and avert your eyes because there was too much awesome going on. And then I've had filmmakers show up in backpacks and in hoodies, and you go, all right, you're an indie filmmaker, dude.
Yeah.
Right. And that's it. And even on your guys' side of it, on the press side, I've had people show up in tuxedos. With the microphone in hand, and then and I've had people in t-shirts and shift dresses, and and what have you, and you go, listen, what's really, I think the key is for me on the press side is what you guys are great about is getting into the personality of the person you're talking about, and because on a red carpet, you're not going to get into someone's life history. And you're not going to break down the whole film because you got 2 questions basically that you've got to ask someone, maybe 3, and then a little follow-up. So it's really about the event. It's really about the hoopla and the fanfare, and and if you can pull out some crazy little comment or or some funny anecdote, which again you guys are really good at, then that's the best thing because for a filmmaker or for an actor. Or somebody, it's great when you get someone behind the camera that's not really, familiar with, not used to having the spotlight shine on them, like a DP themselves or an editor or whatever. It's really hilarious to me to watch them get kind of pulled out of their shell in that moment.
Okay. Because when we were at the Poop movie, I thought that was the most hilarious movie. And then, of course, Poop is like, most people think it's disgusting, but it was like for everyone to do improv with it and to put all those stories together. I thought that was like the most hilarious. And like I used to do improv in high school, and so like they would put a can of Pepsi in front of me and say do something with it, and I would just go crazy. So it was really good to like actually see something that I used to actually do.
Oh no, and it's a great example of a film that you go, well, obviously I know what this film is, and then you watch it and you go, well, I guess I really had no idea what that film was going to be because it was so much more than that.
But it was about poop.
It was about poop.
It was something
But
about poop.
I loved all the marketing toys you guys had. I mean, we had cupcake poops. We had
the poop spray.
we had
poopery.
poops.
Yeah.
Let me tell you how many pooperies I got.
Allow.
I still have poopery.
I do too.
And it works. It really, really works. So shout out to Poopery because it works.
Yeah.
Like,
We're
you
not
going
paid
up-
for this, but yeah. it's
Yes,
great.
we're not. But like you go and
That's
do
so
your
funny.
business and stuff, but you use that.
But
And
it's
it's like-
really neat to see the kind of the variety,
Yeah.
the different types of film festivals that are here, and so I think you guys putting this together to me is so huge, and it speaks so much, John. And people just spend a little bit of time with you; they'll kind of know what your passions are, and this to me fits right in there with how do we do things better together,
You know, and I have to give a shout out to Emily Hargrove and Michael Kane at Earth X Film, who did a lot of spearheading with this, and Bart Weiss at Dallas Video Fest. Because they really did a lot as far as, again, herding the cats, which is really what, when you talk 22 different film festivals that they manage to get together and get their stuff in on time and do all that kind of thing. And I've been telling people, I don't know that this has ever been done before around the entire country. Certainly not on this kind of scale. So I'm like going, yes, I'm the PR guy, and yes, I'm the hype dude, but it's like historical.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
it's
This is
never
good
been
stuff.
done before,
Yeah.
but here in Dallas.
Yeah, I remember when I first started Women Texas, I was in LA and I asked a woman who had a female-led filmmaker film festival in LA, and I was like, do you have any advice for someone trying to do it in Texas? And she was like, don't.
No.
Other film festivals, they'll stab you in the back. It's just horrible. And I was like, terrified. I was like, oh, I don't want to be stabbed in the back. I just moved to Dallas.
Right.
And then it was the opposite.
Mhm.
Like, it's just an amazing community of film festival directors. But I have to do a shout out for Emily Hargrove because it is herding cats. Because artistic directors, we're creatives. We're like, yeah, that's a great movie. It's going in the festival. That's awesome. I can't wait to make my questions for the Q&A. That's cool. And Emily's like, yeah, can you get the film and the bio and schedule?
Yeah.
All the
Yeah,
stuff.
so cool. I'm watching it. That was really fun. And she's like, yeah, so can you send me?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. One question for you guys before we wrap up, because we're getting close.
Yeah,
We are getting
okay.
close. You guys talk, and Bill alluded to this as well, and the kind of the just do it, mindset. Do you feel like there is a community resource here, where people have a group to go to when they run into a roadblock or they have questions? How do people find those kind of pockets?
The film festival, the filmmaking community in Dallas is great in that there's a lot of talent in this town, and there's a lot of generosity of willingness to give information and to support each other. However, they're also in different little pockets, and and the unfortunate thing is that there are all these like different little kind of fiefdoms all over. But what I am encouraged by is that, like, I have put stuff on Facebook saying I need, like, the last film I made, I need to build a wooden cow. Anybody got any ideas? And then I would get, like, a dozen people go to this guy.
Yeah.
Go to this woman. She is amazing.
Yeah.
And I don't know that person. And I have had great success in that. And I've seen that with other filmmakers do that. So the people are out there. And I think what happens is that, I may know a dozen people that you guys don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But then you'll put something on, and of course it'll land on my page, and I'll go, you know something? I do know some folks. And so then through my connection, it's like that 6 degrees thing. That happens a lot here. And I think the answer to that, the wrap up of it is that don't be afraid to ask.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to go out there and ask.
yeah, and I think on top of this, I'm learning this actually in other realms too, as a city advocate. Find the group of people you can be a team player with
Yep.
and bring your humility and be that team player. If you cannot find that group where you can bring your humility and be a team player, make that group.
Yeah.
And then it all opens up.
Okay. And so tell them where they can follow you guys at.
Okay, at Women TXFF, that's for Twitter and Instagram. Women Texas Film Festival on Facebook. You can also follow me, Justina Walford, Cause I'll say everything about that and more.
Yeah.
If you don't like pictures of dogs though, don't follow me.
Yes, because I feel like Tatler should be here.
Yeah.
I just feel like,
I was
you
gonna
know.
put one of the dogs. And that's how you follow me.
Absolutely, and of course, I'm very easy to find on Facebook, John Wildman, and there are quite a few guys with that name, but I'm the one with a lot of dogs and film stuff. So.
Well, and so is Festworks and Wildworks,
Well, yeah,
Does it-
Festworks.com. If you're a filmmaker, you should be checking into that all the time. Festworks.com, and then the PR arm is Wildworks PR.
Okay. So we're going to wrap up here, and I want to thank you guys for
Thank you
coming
guys.
in
Thank you.
today, and my guest Ali.
Hey.
And so before we go, again, if you guys have not purchased Tide Forest Arrow Sum of Love, you can go on tideandsips.com. You can also go to Amazon and Barnes and Noble. And then on the 20th, after her soul left, play will be at the Uptown Theater in Grand Prairie at 3 p.m. and 6 p.m. You can also get your tickets on our website at www.ionroyaltyradio.com.
And then meet us on the red carpet
And meet us on the red carpet. So
on
you
Friday.
can on Friday at 5:30.
5:30. Where we at?
Alamo
Alamo.
Draft House Cedars.
On
Alamo.
Lamar.
Yeah, and then get your tickets for the film festival.
Yeah, and get your tickets. I mean, because it's gonna
Best of
be 22
.org.
bestofest. .org.
And then what you got tonight?
BST.
Because you always out on Sunday nights.
Oh, and tonight, if you guys don't have any plans tonight, you can catch me live at Louie Piano Bar on Elm Street in Good Latimer. Some great music, great food, great drinks. They got a good pickle bag.
So I learned what the pickleback was.
Yes,
When I took him out for
yes.
his birthday, I was like, a pickle what?
Pickle bag, Jameson and pickle bag, y'all.
I had no idea. It's
The bomb.
the bomb.com.
It is the bomb. And then Sunday, my guest will be Classic J. He's gonna be one of the performers at the Family Ties album release at Lofty Spaces. So
And
he'll
that's
be
the
here.
19th.
The 19th, yes. So you guys stay tuned. You're gonna have updates for the Best of Fest on my page, on Ali's page, on John's page, on Justina's page, on everybody's page. And we'll see you guys next Sunday. Peace out.
Woo! The Sunday takeout.
The Sunday takeout. Hit it, Marge.
Oh my gosh! Always so good to have y'all.
I know.
I was asking Justina